check and make sure that all the quadrants are labeled correctly. I have it up here. Next task is I want you to pick any point that you want in quadrant 1 and label it correctly. Hold it up when you're done. Any point in quadrant 1 that you want, but you have to label it correctly. Okay. Since you all have different points, I'm going to pick one up here just for an example. I'm going to go with, I guess I'll go with 4, 2. Remember, we've got a slide and glide. That's our x-axis. Slide and glide before fly or dive. So if I go into 4, 2, that's positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And positive 2, is that up 2 or down 2? Lil? 1, 2. I'm going to make my point. I'm going to label it 4, 2, and that satisfies the task. Now, ready? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to plot the opposite of your point. So whatever your x coordinate is, it's the opposite of your x and the opposite of your y. Make a dot and list the coordinates and hold it up when you're done.
I'm done. Yes, you do.
What is the opposite of my point? Is. Okay, watch. -1, -2, -3, -4, -1, -2. This becomes the opposite of my original. And remember I told you it's a possible pass? Here's how you prove it. If you plot the points correctly, well, I will tell you this. The reason why I said it's a possible pass is because if you do it right, you're definitely in quadrant 3, which many of you are, right? But to prove that you plotted your points correctly, if you connect the dots, it should pass directly through the origin. So use your ruler and connect the dots. Hold it up when you're done. Here we go, last task. I want you to pick a coordinate in quadrant 2, plot it, label it, and then plot its opposite and connect the dots and see if the same thing happens. It should pass through the origin. No, don't erase anything. It'll just smudge.
3, 4.
Pass. Where's my mistake here? Okay? Where's my mistake?
It doesn't go through the 0.
Well, we know one line's not going through the 0, so we've got to find the point that's wrong.
I found it. I found it.
Which one is it, and in what quadrant is it in? How's that? Gavin. Well, first, tell me which point is wrong.
Oh, -3.
And what is it reading right now?
-2.
Okay, so what we could do, so I'm going to take this point. Oh, I got to turn this off first. I got to go here, get rid of that. Move this here. Can I move this? Oh, I see what's happening here. I'll tell you what we can do. We will get rid of this, move this point over, and redraw it. And we are now good. Okay? All right, erase all your marker boards and return your materials, and we're going to go over the first 5 pages from Friday. On page 2, example 1, letter A, what is the first number of an ordered pair called? Did you guys do this page?
Yes.
How come I only have one hand up? What's the first number called in an ordered pair? Go ahead, Lil. we're going to call it two things. It could be called first coordinate or the x coordinate. So let's put both, because you'll see it in Common Core both ways. And I want you to be familiar with both. Can you see that? What about the second number? Matt?
Y coordinate or second coordinate?
Okay, and both terms again, you'll see it both ways. Second coordinate and the y coordinate. It's also listed here. Sometimes if you do go back to that information section on the first two pages, you'll find the answer. Let's go on to this. I'll tell you the ones that I'm always concerned about with students. When we get to E, I'm curious as to see what you get, and H, and I'll explain why in a minute, but let's go through this. All right, what do you have for the coordinates 1, 4? Delaney. What is that? 1, 4. What'd you get? F. I didn't hear you. I thought you said M. I'm sorry. Okay, F is good. 4, 1. Karen. Yes. 5, neg 2. Peyton.
J.
Yes. 2, neg 1. Jen. Good. Now ready? I'm going to take a survey. Put your hands down for a minute. For letter A, 0, 5, raise your hand if you have I. Raise your hand if you have A. Majority is correct. Nick, you got to be careful because look, whenever you have one of these coordinates as a 0, kids will get confused. The first coordinate, 0, tells me that I am not moving left or right at all. Because the first coordinate is how many times you move on the x-axis. So that's 0. And then the y coordinate tells me I've got to go up to positive 5. And so that's A. All right, 8.58. J. How many have L? That is good. 5, 4.2. Lily. Good. I'm going to do the same thing I did with H as I did with point E, or with letter E. How many for letter H have K? How many have E? It is E. Same thing. I am not moving at all along the X. I'm going up to 9. I'm going to go through this quickly. If you have any questions, let me know. 5, 7, 6, 0, 0, 6, 2, 3, 0, 3. Be careful. Be careful with this one also. Neg 2, pos 3, neg 3, pos 2. 7, 5, neg 1, 6. All right, I'll give some tickets out. Ready? Leading into a little bit more of what you're going to do today. Point M is in what quadrant? Now understand they haven't given you the whole entire thing, so you got to kind of visualize. Point M, Dan. Dan?
Quadrant 1.
Come get. Point T, as in Thomas. CC. Correct. Come get a ticket for that. V as in Victor. Leah. Again? Correct. Come get. Ready? Here comes the curveball. Point N. Anna.
Quadrant 1 and 4.
Good guess, but no. Something new now. I haven't taught it to you. Point N as in Nancy. Nick. No. Jen.
It's a no quadrant.
It is in no quadrant.
Quadrant 0.
Okay? When it does not exist in a quadrant, it means it's lying on an axis. And all we do is for N, we say no quadrant, and then in parentheses, x-axis. Okay? Ready? This is going to be easier now. Give me another point that's not in any quadrant on the y-axis. Evan.
8.
And that is good for a ticket. Okay? What you guys are going to be doing today on the remaining pages. Oh, and by the way, this last page, as simple as it sounds, I'll give it to you anyway. Oh, this one I do need to give to you. What is the origin? It's the place where the x and y intersect. And that is 0, 0. That's its coordinates. And then down below here, this is x, y, x, y. Okay, what you guys are going to do is you're going to skip pages 6 and 7. And you're going to go directly to 8. And between now and the bell, you should be able to get pages 8, 9, and 10 done. And follow the directions, because I think page 8 just wants to know what quadrant the point is in. Oh, I take that back. It's actually it's page 9 wants to know what quadrant it is. Page 8 introduces the quadrants again, which we've done already, so it should be just a review. And then number 9 just wants you to list the quadrants. So just getting familiar with those quadrants. So group up and go. You have about 5 minutes. You can get at least 2 pages done, possibly all 3.